Start recording. I have now started recording.
Fantastic. Welcome everyone to session of
8.
Embers 8.
Yep.
Oh, that's what I titled it on my file. Okay, session 8 of Embers of the Titans. It's a full house tonight, which is very
Yay.
exciting. Last we left off, we had a little arc where, after agreeing to go on a quest westward, you guys all got distracted, worrying about a missing Minister Eclipsy, who had disappeared in a different length of Adelaide Skifta, which is a different Titan worm, because it's built on the backs of all these different giant worms. And you winched there. It was called Length Illuminat. And you got embroiled in all kinds of intrigue. You found a kobold frozen in a giant magic ice crystal and a destroyed tenement, and got all down the tubes, and ultimately found out about a terrorist plot and were able to foil them at a big fancy mobster casino. And before we catch up with the rest of you, uh, we're going to start with Bookworm and just put you on the spot. We're going to start with Ordeith Matura, who disappeared a little bit. And that is because he was doing things.
Last Mariel found out the only hint she was able to get was something to do with that white eye thing. Right?
You did see a white eye, a flaming white eye, when you tried to
Which I'm assuming is related to that other the other group that worships the eye god.
the white eye. Now, Ordeith, you were right outside what looked to be a destroyed tenement with the rest of your party. And there was a police cordon of inkworm knights around it in their fancy armor and sort of a fancy red rope police cordon, because this is Adelaide Skifta and everything has to be very ornate. And as your companions were trying to maneuver around the guards to get more information, you saw two other knights coming and moved to intercept them, because you were like, "Oh, more guards. We gotta make sure that keep the heat off so that my companions can kind of find things out."
Well, of course, I must help my companion.
And so these two knights walk up to you, or rather, you walk up to them. They are in plain armor, which is very odd compared to like the very ornate tapestried armor of the inkworms. And the only sort of sign or symbol on it is a flaming white eye. And they immediately accost you. Ordeith Mature,
Yes?
I am
How do you
certain
know my name?
I am Sir Indemnity Aegis Taperhoff, sixth wing of the White Eye. This elf walked with a scar over one blinded eye, and he's got this helmet with six wings. And he's accompanied by an Asimar, a woman, and with golden sheen hair and pure black eyes. And he immediately kind of steps up to you, and she kind of comes around the other side. We require your presence. You have been summoned.
Summoned by who?
The pale pupil has spoken your name. Please come with us.
And what if I don't want to?
I'm afraid it would be in everyone's best interest if you would simply come along. You're not in trouble, but you will be if you say no.
Very well.
Right? Thank you for your cooperation. I appreciate it. You make our job much easier. They immediately take you and begin escorting you through the sort of tarnished, decaying, ornate streets of Length Illuminat to a tremendously tall tower. Indeed, what seems to be more or less the tallest tower in all of Length Illuminat. In the sign over the door, do you speak Celestial?
Let me see. I do.
All right. So as you step up to this, it's this looming 70-foot tall tower. It's white, black, Gothic architecture. It's weirdly ungilded. You know, most of the buildings around here are sort of a red gold, highly gilded, embellished, embossed kind of vibe. And this is surprisingly plain, but it is covered in carved eyes watching in all directions. And the pupils of the eyes are hollowed out with white flames in them. And at the very top of the tower is this enormous sort of bowl with a burning white beacon fire, just sort of burning in this roofless, turreted sort of circular top. And as they lead you up these sort of imposing marble steps, there are no ramps. You notice over the door it says Luminat Flambeau, Holy Watchtower of the White Eye. Inside is all white marble, shaped like almost like a cavern with like a domed sort of sloping ceiling. There are ribbed crags along the walls, and everything is carved with images of eyes and six-winged, one-eyed angels, and they're all lit with watchfire in their hollow pupils. There are rows of low bookshelves, but no pews or seats. There's a large, low, ovular golden altar. It's flanked by golden six-winged angel eye candles on ceremonial staffs. On the altar smolders white cinders, and there are golden ritual pipes arranged on the edges, like smoking pipes, but they're golden. And behind this flat, smoldering altar is a golden pedestal, upon which is seated a large, sagging, bespectacled, formerly white spherical mass of flesh with this kind of graying, pockmarked folds of decrepit skin, and it's completely featureless except for a tiny slit mouth that opens like a cat's eye pupil in the center of it. I would like you to roll me a perception check, Ordeith. Should just be in your.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, it's been a minute. 19. All right, that's
Something decent.
plenty good enough to notice that the sort of big, sagging, spherical mass of flesh that's sort of breathing with this singular pupil that sort of opens and closes as it breathes, this mouth that's shaped like a pupil. You notice that it has 6 shriveled, wilted wings dangling behind it, like sort of down and across the floor. They're brown and dry and crinkled and missing most of their feathers. And there are filmy blind eyes on the wings. And you see Sir Indemnity, that elf knight who accosted you, walks up. He takes an old tome from one of these low bookshelves, and he sets it on the white cinders, and it ignites in this burst of white flame, and you see the spherical six-winged being drink up the smoke through its singular mouth. Ordeith mature, it says.
That is my name. Why have you called me here?
I need you to roll me a stealth, religion, or nature check at your discretion. Okay. I've desired your presence, tainted one. I am a pupil, a pale pupil of the white eye. Angelic servitor once sent to this broken and decrepit world to bring its purifying flame. The white eye has beheld your companion, Tule, on her forbidden voyage. There was no one to receive her, Conra Astiora. The tides of gods and angels are not for mortal minds to walk. The weak become warped by the cosmic tides of time. If she seeks the white eye, he can reveal to her origin, her purpose, and grant her the power to fulfill it. But power requires service, and you, Ordeith Matura, must prove your loyalty if you wish to be rewarded with this aid for your friend. Yeah. Yeah.
And what if I owe loyalty to no one by creed?
Then your friend shall never know from whence she came. The choice is yours, O tainted Ordeith Matura.
May I have some time to consider?
You may take a day. Think well.
Also, if I may, what is the task you would ask of?
There is an ancient treasure among the ruins of the crown of the gods. It is known as the Aisling Whale. The pieces of the ruins of the Ringhalfstjorda are scattered across Rimlight. The first piece lies at the mirror's edge, not at the crown. If you were to take the symbol of the white eye and touch it to this, you shall be granted the knowledge that you seek and the power. And the eye falls silent.
You will have my answer tomorrow.
It gives you no reply. The knights, who both immediately fell into kneeling positions, rise slowly and reverently, and they turn to you, and you may now leave. Or you may stay if you wish, but we ask that you do not trouble the pale pupil any longer.
Very well, I will not bother the pale pupil, but before I go, might I ask you both, what brought you into his service?
Or what brought us here into this order?
Yes.
I, Sir Indemnity, joined the Order of the White Eye, the Knights of the White Eye, because I wanted to see peace, security, safety, and the power needed to bring about that order is in short supply. As you may be able to tell, he kind of acknowledges his scar that has blinded one of his eyes. I have seen much of violence and hatred and tragedy in this world. But if the white eye is allowed and served and brought into this world fully, he, and he alone, greatest of the Welkin gods, most powerful, rivaled only by the veil, cursed it be. He desires order, and he can bring that about.
And what of you? For
Oh,
more of the same.
yes, the ASMR woman kind of turns to you. I'm Dame Devotion Coterios Vigilsight. I joined Knights of the White Eye because I believe that the world must be healed. It must be healed. I'm much like Sir Indemnity in that I see so much brokenness, but I know it can be healed. But there must be a deity beyond. I mean, Agatha is dead, the Titans are dead, and the other Welkin gods are distant or weak or simply pure chaos like the Veil, who design nothing but death. But the White Eye is a real chance to bring a new order, a healing to this world.
Interesting. Thank you for the knowledge. I'm
Thank you very
make
much.
my way kind of towards the exit, and you said there's steps at the front door, right?
There are.
So right at the front step, I'm gonna stop, turn around, plant my staff in the ground, look directly at the pupil. You will never have my service, and walk away.
And you distantly from the depths of the sanctuary just hear. Tainted one. Meanwhile, at St. Chamenos, Rionan Church and Free Sanctuary, where you guys foiled the terrorist attack, if I recall correctly, it was Temmerlinck and Mariel. You see that the Free Sanctuary, which is again this kind of building squeezed between this big inkworm tower that has a magical shield sort of projecting to guard against moon rain, and it's squeezed between that and a large and friendly looking building labeled Kill Guy Meats.
Which we just bought some meat, I believe.
You had just bought some meat from there and you donated it to the orphanage within the St. Chamenos Church. The mob that was here before is mostly dispersed, but some of the kobolds, like carrying lit candles and vigil, are still here. What would you guys like to do? Mariel, you said you wanted to go and check in with the Mother Rector, and Temmerlinck, you wanted to go with her?
I think we already did this.
Did you already check in?
I think we went and talked in, and I ran it because I remember we run
That's
into.
right, because you donated the meat. Oh, that's silly me.
Yeah.
Do you guys head to link up? What do you guys do? Do you head back to Palastrian to try to find your friends who sought Dame Cothram, or do
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Well, I mean, that's what I want to do. I'll follow wherever Temmerlinck goes. I'm supposed to be the guardian here, so.
Do either of you wonder at this point about the whereabouts of Ordeith, who should still be in Length Illuminat with you?
I'm going to try to reach out with my
All right.
Yeah. What do I need to roll for that?
I need you. Yeah, go ahead and roll me religion.
Okay. My thoughts here. Come on, Mariel.
Okay. You try to reach out and kind of something very interesting happens. You see, first of all, you get the sensation only of darkness, and then you see again a glimpse of that great burning white eye of pure flame turn to look at you.
I'm gonna just kind of meet its gaze. We'll do eye contact, no pun intended.
A bright ray of flame, a light, the broken rim. And you feel those words, and yet strangely you feel very deeply. They are not being said to you merely by the white eye. The white eye is reading something within you. You have now unlocked something in your journal called inner words.
Inner words?
Inner words. Words that were read from within you.
A bright ray of flame, a light for broken rim. Oh, maybe that's the poem I came from.
And then, as you hear this, you get the very distinct sensation of the white eye pulling back its power and allowing you to pass, and you perceive the direction of Ordeith Matura and where he is in Length Illuminat.
I'm gonna tug on Temmerlinck's lack of sleeve, just like his arm. Or no, on the staff. I think I figured out where Ordeith is.
Excellent. Let's go and meet our companion.
So I guess I'll lead the way then. I start heading towards the direction I feel the tugged along from the string connecting me to Ordeith.
All right. In not too long, you wandering through the tarnished and dirty streets of Length Illuminat, you all three sight each other. You see Ordeith Matura walking alone, and Ordeith Matura, you see Mariel and Temmerlinck.
I'm gonna be like waving through the crowd, like, "Hey!" bouncing up and down. Ordeith, where have you been? You've had the craziest time.
Yes, I've had some interesting experiences myself. What have you been up to?
Oh, it was crazy. We had to foil a terrorist attack because we went back to. Oh, you were there when we were able to find Minister Eclipsy, by the way. And figured out that some guys behind the attack who had like kind of hired these Teagarthan like extremists. Basically, they were from the other kingdom. What's it called? the key to the crucible. The queen had ordered them. At least that's what we were told. So there's some kind of something going. I know it's been a rival of the other city for a while, but so that was kind of a surprise. But that explains what I was noticing from the crystal and everything. Oh, I guess you weren't there for the. No, I think you saw the crystal, Cobalt. Anyway, I wonder if they're able to heal him or if he's dead. I feel like we should have come back to that, huh? Maybe it's like a
It
curse.
sounds like you have all been on quite the adventure. I'm glad to have found you, though.
Oh, I've also like killed a guy, which I'm still processing that. But we stopped the terrorists, so that's good.
Was it your first?
First that was like a person, like unambiguously. Like I've killed monsters and stuff before, but that was pretty intense.
It gets easier.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just gonna kind of shamble down the street a little bit, like I have somewhere to go.
Okay, I guess I kind of look up at Temmerlinck and start following.
Yeah, we'll go along, and I guess we're going back to meet up with
Rest.
Kai and Pig.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. We could go over there and I'd like to before we leave the city. I want to at least check on the merman again, make sure that he got everything needed from uh, the Dame what's her name knows about the whole extent of the details of the attack and everything that we learned.
Yes.
Ordeith, which way are you headed?
I've just been kind of walking slowly as we've been chatting. I was about to say, well, if you would like to lead us to the rest of the party.
All right, so I'm gonna use my. I'm not entirely sure where they're at. I'm guessing it won't be too hard. Wait, I bet they're at the inn. We should probably go to the inn. I'll use my ability again. Should I roll religion again to try track them down?
It's a passive ability. Nothing opposes you, so you are able to detect that they are in Length Palastrian. And you start heading that direction. We're gonna kind of pan over there now, and you guys will kind of appear in a moment.
Okay.
Just a little within
Alright.
the gates of Length Palastrian, there is the Tower of Posterus Cosane, where Dame Cothram first tasked you all with that quest, where notably Temmerlinck, you were in jail. I think you were the only one who was actually in jail, along with Takeen, your stuff, the Pix friend. But yeah, no problem, Kai. Hi to Slew and Pick Glean Pocket. You had just arrived and walked up the steps into Posterus Cosane. Kai, you have a blue-gray case made of pure astral metal. You have a letter in Primordial granting complete freedom to travel to the Dragonborn Ignavus Neltine, who was the lead terrorist. He's dead now. I think you guys killed him. I forget. Maybe he's alive. No, he was captured.
Yeah,
Temmerlinck
yeah, we
captured
left him alive. Yeah, I think we only killed one of the guys.
Yeah, one of the guys you had to kill.
So
But
the human got caught, and I think we caught the human, and we caught
I
him.
believe I can't remember. But anyway,
I think the one I killed was the other Dragonborn.
that sounds right.
We
Free
killed
travel.
two of them. Mariel killed the other Dragonborn.
Oh,
We
That's why I thought
we
the human
killed
died.
the human, and Ignavus is in the custody of the knights, the Inkworm Knights of
That's
Lake
right.
Luminat,
That's right.
if I remember right.
That is completely correct, I believe. So this letter that you have was to give Ignavus Neltine complete freedom of travel to travel throughout the Kingdom of the Crucible. It was like sort of by a royal order of the Queen of the Crucible herself. You also have a deed to an apartment in Everdeep and a map that the terrorists were using of the St. Chamanos Rhiannon Church in like Luminat. So Kai, you got a bunch of stuff. You got some papers and you got the box. Dame Cothram is there as you guys walk in the door. Again, she's sort of a shifter knight, kind of big, imposing. She's got visible fangs, and she's got these scintillating blue light on black eyes. Close cut crop of red hair. She's got one of her pauldrons has like the coil is fashioned to like a coiled worm around like a lighthouse fortress. shapes. So she's got like one bigger pauldron.
And of the people here, she knows Kai the best, right?
Yes, Kai has been in her employ in the past. She turns and goes, "Ah, Kai de Flu, Pick. Just the two people I've been hearing so much about."
Hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I was like, yes, so that missing persons case you mentioned, we might have unofficially helped out with that a little bit.
Yes, I've been hearing quite some interesting things. The Inkworms do keep in touch. Thank you both for your service. I would like to commend both of you. In fact, the whole of your party. You're really making a name for yourself. Kai, I understand if you prefer your current life. She kind of takes a step forward towards you and puts like a hand on your shoulder. But should you ever be interested in joining the Order of Inkwim Knights, I would be proud and honored to sponsor you after your service today.
Ooh.
I will consider it. As of now, I have some business I need to figure out before I consider any long-term settlement.
Of course, of course. You may be happy to know that Old One Shiny, that kobold who was trapped in that crystal that you found, he was successfully dug up from the floor. The crystal was unearthed from the floor of his tenement, and he's been transported to Length Vitruvian. Our best mages and artificers will get to work trying to break the spell and free him. We do have confirmation that he is alive.
Awesome.
That's good to hear.
For the sake of story, we're going to say the rest of you kind of show up around this time.
Okay.
And Mariel, you lead the Temmerlinck and Ordeith into up the steps into the tower, and Dave Cothram kind of looks up and goes, "Oh, excellent! You're all here."
Hey guys, look what we found.
And this is my cue to face the shadows, of course.
All right, go ahead and roll stealth pick.
Oh, well, okay, sure. Yeah, let's make it all official and all.
21. Oh, you really do disappear. Yeah, Dave Cothram doesn't see you either. So you are
Okay,
well blended.
and since that has happened, I'm also going to take advantage of this moment to have, because I can disappear behind people. I am going to attempt to put pocket Kai.
Okay, go ahead and roll sleight of hand. Kai, would you please roll me perception?
She did.
Okay, Kai,
It didn't change.
It rolled 9 twice.
you do not perceive as Pick gains access to your inventory momentarily. Pick, what do you do?
Transfer 100 gold into your inventory.
Okay, Kai, you go ahead and add 100 gold pieces to your inventory. The little currencies are at the top of the box. And Pick, it is a credit to your mastery of the art that she does not notice a substantial weight appear in her pocket. Mariel, I can't help but notice you crit failed looking for
Yeah.
Heck.
What? How is that? What?
you
How did I
fully
do this?
turn to like a small suit of halfling armor that's like in the tower
I
and
think
start.
it's him.
Yes, yeah, you think it's him for a solid like 20 seconds.
Okay, I'm standing over by this halfling suit of armor and oblivious for a few seconds. I'm just standing next to it. Like I go to like pat him on the shoulder, and it's like, what the?
The pauldron kind of rattles hollowly, and you're like, "What? Did I break Pick?"
Well, what the heck? All right, if Mariel is that imperceptive, can I put pocket Mariel?
Go ahead and roll sleight of hand, Mariel. Go ahead and roll perception.
Well, I already crit failed.
Okay, you know what? If you're not going to contest it, that's fine. You are correct that you have crit failed. Go ahead and roll sleight of hand, Pick.
I
Oh,
did.
did you? Oh, you did. Okay, it's 10.
A lot of stuff.
What do you do, Pick?
I'm attempting to cram 100 pieces of gold into Mariel's purse.
Okay. You succeed because she did crit fail. Mariel, go ahead and add 100 gold to your inventory.
Okie dokie.
This Pick's sort of emotionally repressed means of distributing the pay you got for foiling the terrorist attack. Actually, no, you didn't. It's not pay. You got it off the terrorists. This was their
Oh, I
money.
totally stole it.
It's loot.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, it's loot.
This is. Yeah, this isn't even. Yeah.
That reminds me, since you're all here, Dame Cothran kind of steps forward.
It's non-taxable income.
The Inquim Order is not exactly flush with cash. We do spend a lot on our artistry, but tremendous thanks, Onsto. I would like to highly commend you all again for you've done a great service to Adelaide Skipper, and frankly, I believe I underestimated you. Regardless, I have reached up to my superiors and ensured that you all received some pragmatic reward. She gives each of you 50 gold pieces.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay, and Mariel's
yeah.
I'm gonna try to
Cool.
persuade her to say that. Look, like I feel like it's kind of like simony, if I actually like charge for my services. I'm just kind of doing what I can to protect people, you know.
Well, if it's simony, maybe it's also Garfunkel. I really, frankly, don't care, but I've been given orders. Who takes care of the child's money? Whose child is this? Kai?
She's just kind of here.
You
Well,
seem the most responsible. Kai, here. Try not. I'm entrusting you to not to steal her money, and she gives
I
you.
have made myself visible to be part of this.
Right. You money showed up and poof, you popped up. Yeah. Oh, Pick, there you are. I was worried for a second. I thought you hadn't come in. I saw you. My eyesight isn't what it used to be. So Kai, you should have 200 gold pieces in total. Since Mariel refused hers, as she's paying you Mariel's share as well, Dame Cothram kind of says, Kai, did you happen? I've been informed that there was some materials that you secured from the terrace.
There we go. Yes, of course. There was some.
I think we already handed off the big thing, didn't we?
Nope, you guys were bringing it to Dame Cothram actually.
Oh, we're bringing
Am
directly.
I
Okay.
heard? Just
Yes,
to
we can hear
check.
you right now. For a second, we
Okay.
couldn't, but we can. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's freaking
No,
out.
just no worries.
So yes, and I just kind of hold out the documents you said, and then just hold the blue-gray case out, and I'm gonna gauge her reaction to it before I like fully hand it over.
Go ahead and roll insight. 14. That's not bad. Okay, so you can tell, obviously, there's a passing interest in the documents. The blue case definitely catches her eye as like a point of concern, right? This is a very prominent, unusual object. She's obviously interested in it from like an investigative standpoint, almost kind of like a detective standpoint. She does not seem to desire to possess it in any sort of, greedy or destructive sense.
Okay, in that case, I'll kind of hand it over.
All right. Well, I think we should give this thing a little look. I'm going to take this downstairs. Feel free to accompany me if you like.
I
You
will.
follow her.
I'm
Okay.
curious myself.
Do any of you? Do any
I'm
of you
going to
others
follow
follow?
Temmerlinck.
I'm going to follow. I'm going to follow Kai. I'm interested in what this box is.
Let's go.
Does Temmerlinck notice that I just tried to attempt to put 100 gold in his wallet?
Oh yeah. Roll sleight of hand again.
Probably not.
Roll perception,
Let's
Temmerlinck.
see.
You do notice.
Yes, he does.
Of all people.
That is kind of amusing. You now have an extra 100 gold. And I notice that you notice me, and I just don't break eye contact. I stare right at
All right.
Slowly
and
adding handful by handful.
you.
I manifest a small smile shape on my eyeball and just stare right back.
I blink and then move away.
Pick loses the staring contest. I'm going to assume Ordeith that you go with. You can correct me if you don't.
Yeah, I'll follow them.
Okay, cool. You guys all head downstairs into the basement. It's sort of dungeon-like. It's comparatively like it's like yellowed brick, but there are draconic characters interwoven in these circular, like these hanging curtains that hang in a circle within the room. It's like a big curtained space, and there are all these interweaving characters written in draconic, and immediately all of you sense this kind of oppressive force. The air is like heavy, and it's not that it's like dank, it's like it's actually kind of dry, but it feels heavy.
Is this safe to
Okay,
open?
I try to read the curtains. I want to know what they say.
Go ahead and
I understand Draconic. I can recognize those as Draconic characters.
yeah. So they are quite I'm trying to think of what to make you roll because they are quite like they're sort of interwoven and a little difficult to make sense of, and I wanna make you do something here. Maybe perception or history. Just to
Okay, let's
see how much you can kind of make sense of.
let's go with perception. Gets a better modifier.
There we go.
22. These are very powerful spells. And you immediately recognize this after staring at it for a couple of seconds that this is actually similar to an anti-magic field, but it's just within the curtain space, that it creates this kind of safe zone where magic, any sort of active cast spell magic doesn't work.
Right. Okay.
So is this
Nodding,
the?
Oh, go ahead, yes?
nodding, I step back and I remark, this is powerful and intriguing magic.
Oh yes, this is the countervail. We use this to examine any potentially dangerous magical objects in a somewhat neutralized environment. What were you saying, Mariel?
Oh, okay, no, okay. I misunderstood what was going on. I understand. Okay.
Okay. Feel free to accompany me.
Very wise.
Oh, what was that?
Very wise.
Well, yes, thank you. We try to operate intelligently. You're all free to step in. It should be harmless. Just don't waste your energy trying to cast spells. I'm just going to step in here and see what this thing contains. And she steps into the curtain space.
I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna be sneaky. I
Mariel
mean, not
follows.
sneaky. I'm gonna be nosy. I'm not sneaky. I'm being obvious. I think I can make shields too if something goes wrong.
Well, that would be a spell. But does anyone?
Oh yeah.
Do you all kind of follow her, or do some of you hang back?
I'll follow.
Okay, Ordeith goes in.
I'm
I'll follow,
following as
but
well.
I'll do so stealthily.
I'm gonna hang back.
Okay.
I am not confident. Well, I'm mostly confident that this will not interfere with the magic which is animating me, but I'm not.
Play it on the
That's not
safe side.
something I want to risk.
Yeah, that's reasonable. So those of you who step within, you see these draconic characters kind of all around you, and then Dame Cawthorn steps into the center and she opens the blue-gray astral case, and you see a yellow diamond that burns with an inner fire kind of float up, turning gently, become suspended in midair, and then the draconic characters in on the curtains begin to light up and trail, and they spell out a description of the magical item,
Ooh.
similar to the identify spell. And they identify it as a diamond of animate flame, which is an extraordinarily powerful explosive. Probably would have killed or wounded everyone in both the church and the neighboring meat plant. Well, this is quite a nasty little trick. She kind of boxes it back up. Thank you for turning this in. I'll be sure that it does not fall into dangerous hands.
Did you hear about we have the papers we should show you that were on them. It looks like the I can't remember how much you knew about the Kingdom of the Crucible apparently being behind it. They said that they've got a permission to travel from like the Queen and everything.
Yes, I was just looking those over. I'd heard something to that effect from my fellow members within the Order. I am sure that the overarching political authorities will be very interested in all of that. Thankfully, that's beyond my pay grade. If we'll just step out, they come back out, Temmerlinck, and she kind of turns and addresses you all. On that note of my
I'm filling in.
superiors,
I'm whispering while she's talking to fill in Temmerlinck about what she said, what we saw.
cool. On that note of higher authorities, the Knight Architect, the ruler and head of all the Inquim Knights, has expressed an interest in meeting all of you. It is not a mandatory summons. He wants to make that clear. He is very busy, but if you're interested, he would like to have you for dinner tonight.
We're having dinner. Who you said the Inquim Knights?
The Knight Architect of the Inquim Knights. He's the head of the Inquim Knights.
That's a pretty big deal.
Ruler of Adelaide Skifta and all of the lands of the Inkwell.
Oh, so it's like your king here, basically. I should probably know this because I live
We
nearby.
don't use the K word, but yeah.
Okay.
He is similar to a monarch, although not quite as powerful. But I mean, I've never met him myself. It's quite a substantial.
Like the Grandmaster of an order, essentially.
Yes, he is the head of the order, and he's an invitation.
Would
to
I
his,
know this name?
yes, you would know. I think you'd know. You've lived in this city. He's the knight architect Grianrock Aerofair. I can put that in the chat.
Green.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a spelling on that.
Yeah.
Oh, Grianrock.
Yeah, Grianrock Aerofair. Some people just call him Knight Architect Grian or Aerothair.
Grian he is. I can agree to
Easier
that.
Remember.
I will discuss it with my friends here.
Of course. If you're interested, please just swing back by this tower tonight, and I will escort you.
Sunny something.
What's
Sunny. I'm trying to figure out what the name means. Sunny something.
If
Sunny atmosphere.
She's talking.
Sorry.
She says, if you're interested, feel free to swing by this tower this evening. That's when I get off duty, and I will escort you to Lank Vitruvian, and to the citadel of the Night Architect. But in the meantime, I think you're all due a rest and, well, what is it, lunchtime?
I've lost track. It's been a very long couple days. Did we already get our spell slots on? Like,
because you leveled up, I just kind of gave you all a free
like
kind
long
of
rest.
equivalent of a long rest.
Okay.
But what do you
Okay,
guys?
I will.
Yeah, go ahead and refill your spell slots as appropriate. What do you guys do? Do you hang around the tower? Do you go back to an inn, or are there any
I
other
think we should go-
locations you wanted to visit during the
I
day?
think we should check on the merman to see if Minister Eclipse's well enough to help him out.
Weren't Kai and Pick just there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, he was just
Weren't
asking if
Kai
you were.
and
Yeah.
Pick just there?
Yes, and as of when we left, Minister Eclipse was still unconscious, and the merman was okay. Was doing as well as you can be when
That's
you're
good to
forced to
hear.
speak in opposites.
And did we hear what happened? Because Mariel was in the room. Do we hear what happened to Old Man and Shiny?
Yes, he is alive, and they're figuring out a way to heal what has happened.
Well, where should we head to? I guess maybe we should find our sorry, I'm making so much for today. Find our employer over in I think she's probably still at the inn where she might be.
You did technically stand her up, I believe, this morning.
Oh well.
Do any of you have anything you wanted to do? Do you want to go check on that? Is there anything else you wanted to do?
Well, have I noticed that there's 100 gold in my pocket yet?
We could say you've noticed by now.
Well, I have a massive pile of money somehow. I should probably visit Drogal. It's been a while. He might be worried. Maybe I could give him this, and that will be a good use of the funds, since he's probably buying only likes to buy school things for my foster sister and stuff.
Pick, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just curious if I could sidle up behind Ordeith.
Oh, yes, go ahead and roll stealth,
Sidle?
I guess. I mean, I
How
guess
did you guess?
24. Ordeith, would you roll me perception? Hi, you just missed this. Ordeith, you definitely don't see this. I'm gonna say this also, that one perception roll of 12 is what you have to beat that DC sleight of hand for Ordeith not to notice.
And I'm put pocketing. Very successful. Ordeith, you now, and I've deducted all of mine. That was the last of my distribution, I believe, of the gold I had taken. You now have 100 gold in your pouch, and have no idea where it came from.
like
Or
a
why you
Chinese
given we
sneaky
haven't told you what happened.
Christmas elf.
Yeah. Like, you had no idea that I even got any money. No one else saw it. I don't think. I think
Yeah.
Kai was the only one. Or no, Temmerlinck was the only one who saw it.
I don't think even I saw it.
Sorry, Bookworm, you're a little quiet. What was that?
I said I'm probably gonna think I discovered alchemy when I find random gold in my bag.
I think I just need, maybe if I turn you up, I can hear you better.
Yeah, I'm also Ordeith, if you can do anything at all to get closer to your mic, or I'm really struggling to hear you.
He's probably think it's from the alchemy set. He was saying, if he finds random gold in there.
Can you guys hear me now?
It's a little better.
No. Give me a minute. I'm gonna grab a different headset.
Okay. Okay. Ordeith is standing there in shock, just realizing that he got 100 gold.
Okay.
How about the rest of you?
I'm gonna reach out again to see, because I still don't know that the Kai's disguise was was the same person. So I'm gonna reach out again to see if I can detect where that other soul is in the city.
You do not detect another soul.
So weird. So guys, when I was at the we were back at the church earlier, I totally like ran to another soul I'm assigned to, and I have not seen them since, and I cannot tell where they are now. Do you think they're out of range now? Did I blow this? I wish I was a better guardian angel. I'm always like losing track of stuff.
I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they just walked away.
I hope you're right.
Oh, what do you guys do? Do you go back to one of the inns you've been to?
Can how long would it take me to fly over to since it's the middle of the day? How long would it give me to fly to the Vulture Grounds and back?
Shouldn't take too long, although you might miss lunch.
I think I'll miss lunch. I'm gonna go over and bring this money to Drogal.
Okay, well you can fly, so you just step outside and.
Yep.
I'm also going to miss lunch. Can we before you take off? We should agree where we're meeting. I want to meet someplace.
I'll fly back down.
Yeah.
You're right. Would the inn work?
Yeah, let's meet at the end. I'll see you there in
Can you write
hour and
down
change.
Can you write down the address? I hand you a paper and one of my pen.
So for the sake of not remembering, did we name this place?
The inn that you guys last stayed at was called the Stained Glass.
Yes. So I write down the stained glass address.
Okay, I'm gonna put that up. I'm gonna subtract a paper and put the address in my inventory.
All right, I'll see you there in an hour, hour and a half, and then I book it. I just disappear.
Fantastic. All right. So real quick.
Can you guys hear me any better?
Oh, way better.
Yes,
Much
much
better.
better. Yes.
Fantastic. I just didn't want to miss if you were trying to tell me something, Bookworm, because I'm the DM
Nope.
and want to be able to
All
interact
good.
with you. Okay. We'll start with Mariel. Mariel, you fly out over the Vulture grounds, kind of because you have to first fly out of Length Plastry and away from all of the different Titan worms that are like
all the worms
kind of laid out in different squiggle patterns with their kind of interlocking city sections on their backs.
How's the weather out here today? And does the moon look like it's gonna just poop hot lead on us again?
Go ahead and roll me
Nature?
just a d20 and a nature check.
Okay.
Actually, I can tell you.
You can?
I'm gonna cast
1. That's not good.
It's not ideal, no. Okay. Sheesh. Okay. I guess.
Like, what are we gonna say? Hold on. Maybe there's a way out of this.
Do you fly back?
Hold on. Shield of Faith only works on. Might be able to help.
Might be able to help if you're not out of range.
Well, I left a few minutes ago, right?
You can turn around if Mariel if you get a gut feeling.
What is Temmerlinck cast?
Druidcraft.
All right.
Druidcraft water ball.
Whisper to the spirits of nature, create one of the following effects of magic. Create a tiny or harmless sensory effect that predicts within the weather will be in the location for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
That says anything.
That's pretty awesome.
So
that's
you
a very
get
cool transcript.
At first just a little like glassy shape, sort of like a clear sky. and then you see a bloody red dot, like a drop of blood, rise up to the top of it, and then kind of fall down little droplets.
Okay, we have moon rain predicted in the next 24 hours.
Mariel, do you stay in the city or do you chance it?
How and was I near? Was I within? Was I within? Would I be able to hear him say that? How far?
As long as you're within like 30 feet of him, so if you turned around, yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if I was close enough though, because I was already pretty far up.
We can say you were close enough. I'm okay with that.
I am gonna notice though and start booking it back because
All right, you book it back, and at some point kind of feel a little tingle as you pass through sort of a bit of a, it's not as noticeable or as obvious as a magical field as Overlength Luminat, but you get the sense that there's like a sort of a vague protection over this length. And as you're coming down, you do notice, aside from the reddening glow of the moon, you also see one of the more distant, in fact, the most distant length of Adelaide Skifta is this big golden glow. This isn't like a new thing. But you kind of notice that glow is cast a bit over this length as well as you come down back to your party members.
okay, we're staying inside the city for now.
Okay, pick. What were you gonna
Does
do?
the Shield of Faith work on anything besides? Does that just work on other people, or can it work cast on myself?
What does it say? A creature or an ally?
A creature of your choice within range.
It can be yours then. Yeah, I think yourself then.
That's how I would have saved myself. Would have been landing and just sitting there in a spell till blew over.
And if you'd been able to find your foster father, presumably the Feathered Wanderers have some means of evading the moon rain problem, because they are nomads. Pick, what were you gonna do?
Maybe their huts have be like
magical tents, maybe.
Oh, okay, that probably works better than I was trying to think of almost like a dugout would work.
There's probably some dugouts that they like return to from time to time, but there's also probably like magical tent weaving that they know how to do. Probably a Feathered Wanderer thing. Pick.
Yes, I am taking advantage of my city streets ability. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Oh, nope, that had no description on it whatsoever. Does not matter. Anyway, I am swiftly navigating through the city faster than any of the rest of y'all can, and navigating to a couple of supply stores. I ended up spending a grand total of 10 gold pieces in total worth of stuff that I'm buying. So
Okay.
reduce that from my inventory. And I hop over to the inn so that I'm there when you guys arrive. And I locate the privy and
Okay.
bolt the door.
Okay.
And
You're
we'll catch
locked
up with
yourself.
you. Yes, we'll catch up with you in an hour.
Okay. Okay. Kai, Temmerlinck, is there anything you do with your afternoon? Do you just head back to the inn? Kai, are you interested in lunch? Ordeith, what are you up to? Is there anything you wanted to do in the city? Did you want to look for like a smithy or something like that?
I just did the same thing. That's funny.
Oh, talk while I was muted.
No, just to like trying to figure out what I'm trying to do. I don't think there's anything in particular I was trying to do. Maybe I'll find a nice park, enjoy some sunshine before the blood rain.
All right, you kind of find a nice park, and as you see the moonblood rain kind of start to fall, and it's sort of a red storm that rolls over the city, and it strikes kind of into that golden light above Length Palastrian where you are, and that light sort of intensifies, and the moon rain just kind of evaporates and does not hit the city that you guys are in.
Can I tell if that light is coming from somewhere in particular?
Go ahead and roll perception or history. Perception with 11. You can tell it's coming from a different length of the city.
Okay.
If you seek some higher ground, you might be able to like pinpoint exactly where, or you can just chill in the park. It's either or.
Actually, while it's still raining, I do want to find some higher ground and see if I can pinpoint closer to where the center is.
For sure. Where the light's coming from?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you find there are a lot of towers in Adelaide Skifta. It's mostly towers, very vertical living spaces. You find like a little tower kind of deal that you can kind of go up into. It's like maybe some form of library or something, and you get up onto one of the higher balconies, and you can see out over the walls of Length Palastrian across all the different Titan worms that are laid across the slope of the great titanic tail of the petrified dragon. And the furthest length you can see has the tallest tower, and from that the glow emanates powerfully.
Do I know what length that is?
You could roll history.
Let's do it.
15. That is Length Vitruvian, where the Night Architect rules.
Okay. I'll make my way back down to the park and keep an eye open for my friends.
So is that where we would go if we go to the guys' dinner tonight?
Correct. Hi, Temmerlinck, do you guys just head back to the inn? Is that all?
No, I'm going to find a park and just wander around, see if there's any unusual looking plants that I might snag a cutting of.
Roll me perception or nature.
Okay, let's go with.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna follow along.
Okay. You find what they call, what is it called? Cinder bloom, which is a vivid sort of star-shaped red flower. Historically, it grows like it used to grow after wildfires. It's now kind of associated with dragons, but it's fairly rare, and you don't have a sample of this, so you could take a cutting from the park if you want. But you might have
I
to
would
do a
like
little
to do that.
stealthily.
Yes.
Do you have a permit for this, Temmerlinck?
Yeah, go ahead and roll stealth, Temmerlinck, because I'm curious if you
Yeah.
can.
Let me do stealth for that. Yeah. So I
Can
can
I give
do
him
so
the-
stealthily.
Like, can I give him the assist on that? I'll just like stay in the way if there's anything.
Yeah, I was
that
about to say you guys are in the same park, by the way. So yeah, you can go ahead and roll twice, Temmerlinck, if you like. You could get advantage. Yeah. I mean, you clear it. You're able to, with Ordeith kind of on defense, as it were, being a distracting old turtle man. You're able to pick the cinder bloom and kind of put it up into that compartment up your arm.
Just out there doing Tai Chi to distract everyone.
And
All right.
yes, you can add that to your inventory, cinder bloom.
Great.
So where do you take these when you're done with them?
We have a facility in Astrolabe where we store the magically preserved,
It's like a seed
ready
bank.
to like a seed bank, indeed.
All right, so you did all agree to meet back up at the inn. Is that kind of where you guys head?
Yep. That's how I'm going.
Yep.
All right. And Kai, you didn't want to do anything else before, did you?
Nope.
Okay.
I think the
You guys-
most.
Oh, go ahead.
I think the most she would do is just kind of look around and see if there's anything suspicious, then head back. Just do like a sweep.
Yeah, you can do a perception check.
Great.
It's as usual. In Length Palastrian, much nicer part of town than Length Illuminat, much cleaner buildings, much more polished brass trimmings and so forth. So you all meet back up at the Stained Glass, which is this, very beautifully wrought building. It's somewhere between like Tudor and Japanese architecture. It's got stained glass bay windows, and the second floor has that big circular stained glass window, and the name "The Stained Glass" sort of worked in illusion magic. And as you head inside, pick roll me perception to see if you hear them come inside from your choice of
Alrighty.
hiding place.
That's I'm definitely in the privy. Still. I would have been in there for a full hour. Let's see. Perception.
What did he eat?
Yeah, you hear them coming. I mean, you can't mistake Mariel's chatter or Temmerlinck's clunking footsteps for anything else.
I think the real question is if they notice me, because at this point there's probably some unusual, sounds or potentially even smells coming from the bathroom.
I think I'm the only other person at this table that knows about the. Well, I mean, that's
No,
player.
no,
That
don't
knows about...
spoil it.
Okay, okay. I don't know if you're doing that again, but I'm.
What? Doing what again?
Why would you? But okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an odor to the stained glass. Temmerlinck, go ahead and roll me stealth again, pick.
Oh, sure. All right. Stealth. Why are these so small?
Okay, dang.
Sneaky.
It is difficult for them to pin down
Sneaky
where the
hobbitses.
smell is coming from. And the proprietor, who's that gnome with like the kind of rainbow dyed beard and the big spectacles that magnifies his big eyes, he's got the fancy tapestry apron. He's kind of scuttling around being like, what is that? What? Somebody open one of the windows. What is that?
I'm going to open a window.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you. Oh, you're all back. Are you staying another night?
I don't know yet, but it's okay if we loiter until I find out what everyone else is doing.
Please, relax. And as he's talking to you, who should appear but a fashionably dressed crimson-skinned tiefling, who you recognize as Candy Pyre, who you agreed to do a job for.
Hey, Candy, we're back. Sorry, we got a little tied up in some craziness. Had to foil a terrorist attack.
A terrorist attack? What happened? Didn't we have a deal? You totally stood up Peony Nimble, who was supposed to meet with you and escort you to Astrolabe. What is this?
Well, I think we're still doing that. We just had we had an emergency we had to prevent.
An emergency? She kind of looks at you, Kai, and you, Temmerlinck, and Ordeith, too.
We stopped some orphans from being blown up.
Ah, well, always doing the good work, I see. Oh, but are we still solid for the arrangement to look into the failing Moonblood shields in the Moonlight Canals? Are you still on for that, or do I need to look for other interested parties?
I mean, I'd still be
believe
interested.
we are still on for that.
Oh, what was that, Ordeith?
Yeah, and I'd like to go there and see, because that's on the way to Astrolabe too, right?
Yes, it is. Ordeith, what were you saying?
I would still like to make that journey. We made an agreement and we should honor it.
All right, well, a day late and $1 short, but nonetheless, the deal is on. I'll let it slide, considering there were terrorists and orphans involved. I mean, I'm not a monster. What is that smell? She's gonna walk over to the privies and kind of hammer on the door pick. Somebody, are you dead? Excuse me. Do I need to call emergency services?
here's what you say. Pick opens the door, and the toilet looks very messed up. Very messed up.
Okay.
Like not necessarily dirty, just discolored, like somebody might have lit a fire in it.
Okay. So she just kind of looks down at you and goes, "Are you cooking drugs?"
I shrug and walk right by, not saying a word.
I'm gonna go up and investigate. Mariel's concerned.
Mariel, go ahead and roll me perception, or actually, I guess it'd be investigation, because you could see it. You're just trying to figure out what the heck it is.
That's got to be a medicine check.
Oh yeah, you can also roll medicine check if you want. I was gonna say.
Well, it's -2 to both, so.
Okay, so it's the same difference. With an 11, you could tell somebody was cooking something in this, but it's hard to say exactly what.
So DM, just to make sure, it has been an hour, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's assume that I did finish whatever it was I was up to.
For sure, absolutely. This is sort of downtime, so yeah, absolutely. So you guys sort of lounge around a bit.
I'm still in the
I walk
bathroom
straight.
trying to figure out
I
what's
walk
going
very
on.
visibly to the bartender, which is not a very common thing, and I seem to recall. Go ahead.
Mr. Glean Pocket, lovely to see you. Prozan Thorndike. You're staying another night, are we?
Not sure yet, but I wouldn't mind one of your famous brews.
Oh,
Something
yes,
local.
we have a number of excellent drinks. Only the best. Only the best. Yes, let me just see here. He starts like digging around under the counter, trying to see what they have in stock.
So whenever he gets whatever he finds, I will slide a gold piece across the counter.
Sorry, I have to look up the drink names. I actually bothered to do this, and nobody ever wanted to drink them.
Oh, all right, take your time.
Give me a second. I apologize.
I'll keep that gold piece covered with my hand for the moment.
Okay. Yeah, you're just kind of, this is the awkward moment where I knew I should have put it in my notes. I was like, no one's going to ask for a drink. I don't need that.
Well, while you're looking, I'll go up to Candy, and I'll ask her. So, Miss Candy, you said you were $1 short. How much would that dollar be? What would be?
It's an expression, dear, but
It's
you're
not-
very sweet.
It's not literal.
No.
If it were literal, what number would you put it on?
I don't know. A silver piece? I don't.
A silver piece. Okay, hold on. What is it? It's 10.
It's all orders denominations of 10.
Okay, so it's 10. It's okay. So then I'd have with the exchange rate, they're magical, right? Like, you
Mhm.
okay.
We
So
don't ask questions.
okay.
Let's head ahead
I'm
again.
gonna hand her a silver piece then.
Oh, dear, you can keep your own money. That's fine.
I know, it's okay.
No, I really can't take this. She kind of tries to like fold it back into your hand. I really,
Okay.
honestly,
Uh,
you're very sweet though. Meanwhile, Peck, Roseanne kind of turns to you. We have Phineas Kin, a Fialo, and Piasin Mianador. What's your poison?
Are any of those anything like an IPA pale ale?
Well, I think that would probably be Phineas Kin.
That sounds good to me. I'll take one.
Reasonable choice.
Hey, thank you for your the use of your facilities. And I slide the gold piece over, wink, grab the beer, and walk away.
He kind of like has a moment of comprehension, but he notes the gold piece, so he doesn't look displeased.
Wrong button. Sorry, I was just trying to get the description. I'm not casting that yet. I was just trying to read the description.
Do you guys pay for lunch, or do you just kind of skip it?
How much does Mariel need? How much does Mariel need to eat?
That's a great question. I assume something. Fire needs fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll order some food.
All right. I think. Oh gosh. There's. Your meal. I think it's like a silver piece. I want to. What is it? Yeah. Go ahead actually and just pay a full gold piece. There's 5 of you. For a nice meal here. It's a classy place.
I've got it.
All right, Temmerlinck, you
I've
spot
got
the
it
meal.
covered.
And you guys all order some food. Have a nice lunch, comfortable lunch. And as the shadows begin to lengthen and the multicolored light begins to dim in this kind of glorious sunset golden hour through all of the stained glass windows, it's getting to that time where if you want to take the Night Architect up on his offer,
oh yeah, we saw that.
you would have to go down to the Tower of Postier's Costain and meet with Dame Copper.
I'm standing by the door very anxiously, trying to surreptitiously wave everyone. Come on, let's go. Come on. You guys are slow in the city. Come on.
All right.
We're going.
Before we
I guess
get
we
out,
are.
can I just ask real quick?
Yeah.
How much would I know about like the magical barrier? Would I know? Is there like lots of information readily available, or is it kind of a closely guarded secret?
It's not necessarily common knowledge other than that people know it's protected by magic. You're free to roll history or arcana to try to figure out what you can remember or what kind of vibes you get off it. 11 arcana check and 11 history check from Kai. You both kind of get, Mary, you have no clue what's going on.
As usual.
But both of you get the impression that the different lengths have maybe slightly different measures, but broadly speaking, there is a power that extends over the whole of the city that sort of shields it, but not necessarily in the same like super visible force field sense that like Length Lumina had more of that going on. So it seems to be like there are a few different methods, but one prevailing one that is less the visible shield and more just kind of it evaporates before it gets too close.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
and it seems to be projected over the city, but it's hard to say more about it than that. Temmerlinck with a 16 Arcana check, you can tell that this golden light comes from a source of incredible power, and the reason why it gets brighter during a moon rain is because it is the primary shield extended over most of the city. Lower class areas like Lank Luminat kind of have to supplement that with some of their own protection systems, it seems. But broadly speaking, the city is protected by this sort of mantle of golden light that comes from a singular and tremendous source of power, unlike much else on Rimlight.
Interesting.
Would he be able to tell like what it does? Like if it just keeps like out a certain type of creature or something, or if it's just like general protection?
Temmerlinck, you can tell that it is keeping out the moon rain and seems primarily devoted to that, but it does a little more. There's something kind of unspoken, a sort of an X factor almost. It's hard to put it into words, but it changes the
Right.
shape of the air to an extent.
I have some suspicions of what this might be, but I don't know how much Temmerlinck would know about what Adelaide Skifter has and what the Inkwell Knights have.
In terms of that kind of thing, if I think you're guessing correctly, maybe, but it is fairly common knowledge what the primary sources of power that each faction wields, and how many of them they have.
Right. Yes.
So Pick, it sounds like you're hustling us toward the tower.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to be late.
Yeah.
All
Besides,
right.
you guys are so much slower going through the city than I am.
There might be free food.
That was implied.
Oh,
So
by the way,
you
just to make sure I clear up, we did agree to do the mission for Candy Cap?
Candy Pyre.
Candy Pie. Okay, thanks.
Candy
But
Cap.
we're not doing that tonight. We're doing it tomorrow.
Yeah, it sounded like it would
Yes.
be tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, just confirming.
I'm not going to stand up twice. Okay. So you head down to the Tower of Posterior and you see, still in in all her fancy armor, you see Dame Cawthorne coming down the stairs with kind of that relieved but slightly dead inside look of someone who just finished a very long shift. Oh, lovely to see you all. We all set then?
I would just like to
Very.
point out that Kai looks very hesitant here.
All right.
I
well,
look very eager, oddly, unnaturally eager.
All right. Well, that's all. Head that way. I do want to caution you. This is a deal, as they would say. This is not something to be taken lightly. She kind of glances at you, Peck. It's not the time for aspirations of impropriety. I understand, Mr. Clean Pocket, you have some reputation. Uh, this is a very significant thing, and I would just caution all of you that if you, I'm sure you won't make a spectacle of yourselves, but if you did, there's nothing I could do to protect you because this is miles beyond.
I'm gonna raise my hand.
Yes.
Does he like lyre music?
I don't know actually. He's a fairly cultured man. Anyway, let's be off. And she leads you clanking out through the gates of Length Palastrian and across quite a stretch of the tail, the enormous sort of petrified stone expanse upon which Adelaide Skifta and its worms are sort of situated, to what feels like the furthest away length on the biggest or one of the certainly tallest Titan worms. And it is from there that tallest tower with that golden light rises over all the city. But she doesn't lead you to the tail end of the worm, which usually slopes downward, and there's like a gate there, so it's easier to get in and out. The city seems to be walled all around. She leads you instead to where, for lack of a better word, that worm's head is. It just looks like the end of a worm. And she sort of She reaches into her pocket and she takes out this little like silver dragon head, and it fits like a little mouthpiece. So there's like a little dragon face over her lips, and she whispers, "Good to go," and like a little golden smoke comes out and rises upward, and Dame Cothram is requesting a ride, and you see this huge, grand golden lift descending on huge boss chains of alloyed moon blood and astral, and with these draconic worm railing motifs around it, and this huge sort of exterior elevator lift lands, and she just kind of gestures for you all to get on. Welcome to the escalarium of the architect.
Wow.
Yes, Lank Vitruvian is the most heavily guarded part of Atlas. You have to. It all starts to rise, carrying you all up. Perhaps the most heavily guarded fortress in the world.
I'm used to flying, so I'm just kind of casually leaning against the railing, just like.
Just don't fall. And as you reach the top, you see 24 knights that are unusually elaborate in their armory and armament. They're unusually muscular and sort of stern looking. You recognize some of their like symbology as similar to other gate guards you've seen, but there's one of a host of different species: human, dwarf, elf, halfling, dragonborn, Asimar, gnome, Goliath, tiefling, Aarakocra, centaur, kobold, minotaur, lizard folk, satyr, tabaxi, shifter, turtle, gith, hadozi. There's a thri-kreen, which is a big bug dude. There's a plasmoid, a leonin, and a luxodon. The leonin's a big lion person, and a luxodon's an elephant person. That gith is a hippo person. Anyway, two knights approach you. I made that whole list and then realized halfway through I did not need to read it all, but lions and tigers and bears, oh my, indeed.
Bugbears, yeah.
This knight, this female leonin, right, this sort of lioness woman walks up to you. She's in golden red painted armor. She's got both of her pauldrons are shaped like worms coiled around lighthouses, and they're lit with real golden flame, unlike the singular pauldron that Dame Cothram has that isn't lit. And she has twin broadswords, one on either, one on either side of her belt. Hello, my name is Dame Tavana Cashindo. I am a knight commander of the Dragon Watch and a joint gate warden of Length Vitruvian. And then next to her, the red and green plasmoid is just like a jelly person with golden flecks inside. He's got metal badges embedded in his sort of plasmic, his sort of ectoplasm that look like they're sort of like tattoos. And he's got like magical armor of gold and silver, and he's got the same big pauldrons, but his armor's more like segmented, so he can kind of morph with it more.
Is he like humanoid shape, or is he
Yeah,
just like
vaguely
a blob?
humanoid shaped.
Okay.
Just with a big blob head and like no neck and whatever. And he's got, instead of weapons, he just has long magical needles in his two goo limbs. Hello, my name is Sir Bomblom Schloop. I am also Knight Commander of the Dragon Watch and a Joint Gate Warden of Length Vitruvian. We welcome you.
Hi there, Sir Blah Blah, but I'm gonna she's gonna uncertainly offer her hand.
Kind of sucks up the needles further up inside him, and he shakes your hand. Bomb, yes. Thank you for visiting us. Please maintain utmost propriety within Length Vitruvian. Welcome, honored guests. These huge gates open. Dame Cothram, you see, has like been talking to them on one side. Yes, I vouch for them. I'll escort them. It's on me if anything goes wrong. The technically rank is high enough to sponsor them, all right? And you all kind of head inside this ancient, rich, ornate, but very sturdy city. It's not like the other length. It's quiet. It's almost reverent. That golden light seems to linger over everything like a perpetual golden hour. The air that had that different shape to it that some of you noticed from that power evaporating the moon rains, it feels like the air feels clearer and stronger and fresher. Each breath feels even like distinct, like they're bespoke pieces of art come just by breathing. There are some expensive shops, but there are no market stalls. No bustle on the streets. There are some small castles. The tallest citadel is on the far end of the length. It is a huge lighthouse tower. It is heavily fortified. It spills out into these big protruding bastions that are enormously stories high. It's got bastion barracks, fortress walls, and like a big layer cake. And there are, as you approach it, these tasteful fountains that playing beneath big elaborate statues of the Titan dragon Teagartha, and there's just very detailed and beautifully rendered draconic imagery all throughout this length. It's intensely beautiful and just so very still and quiet and strange.
Ordeith. Ordeith, what do I do? How do whisper rolls? How do whispering rolls work in D&D again? I don't remember.
I don't actually know. I'm sorry. You can click 2DM on the sheet, but that's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm whispering to him, not to the.
Okay.
Okay. What do I do? I show my hand. I think I still got the ectoplasm from Sir Blob. What do I do?
Here, let me help. And I'm gonna wipe it off on my cloak.
Do we give it back to him?
Okay, so Ordeith, you just kind of wipe it off.
Let's not mention it.
Okay, so it's around this time you notice. Let me see. I'm gonna try something, and let's see if it does the right thing.
It's a toss-up.
I really hope it does the correct thing. Okay, good. Hopefully that went to you only. Anyway, long and the short of it, you suddenly realize that it is not nearly as dirty as you remember.
Ah, gotcha, Ordeith. Your cloak just kind of suddenly is like cleaner, and it's just gone.
What?
It's clearly a causal relationship between the goo and the cloak. It must be like maybe it could be used. His body could be used as a cleansing agent.
Ooh, you might be right. Here, go shake his hand again, and give it. Come back here, and I'll put it in this vial.
Okay, I'm gonna fly back to Sir Blob.
Dame Cothram is like, wait, where are you going? And you fly back to the 24 knights, some of which, and thankfully, Sir Bomb included, are inside this time, kind of milling around about, bustling about. Oh yes, did you require something?
Hi there, Sir Blob.
Bomb.
Hi, Bob.
Bomb. The two
okay.
N's.
Here, this is a weird question, but do you think you could spot me a little ectoplasm? I could give you some gold for it.
You don't have to pay for it, child. He pats you on the head and it gets all in your hair.
Well, thank you.
Happy to oblige. And like one of the other knights nearby just goes, yeah, finally somebody wants it. Wish you wouldn't get
What a nice guy. All right, I'm gonna give him a big smile and then fly back with this gross stuff in my hair.
Smile, but some of the golden flecks in his shapeless head kind of arrange into like a little smile.
All right. What's been going on while I've been off wasting time?
Dame Cothram's been panicking, and everybody meets you halfway back because she just led people back running because she doesn't want to get in trouble for whatever we're up to.
Come here, Mariel.
I'm gonna go stand by him.
Somebody please.
I'm gonna take a vial from my chemistry set and just scoop some of the goop from Mariel's hair.
All right, add to your inventory plasmoid sample. All right, now if that's quite all, Kai, could you please, somebody control the angel?
Why is it always someone else's fault? I'm very controllable of myself. I'm very good at self-control.
Then control yourself, please, dear. This is not to be taken lightly. We are headed to Tueris Soleus.
So what? Why are you so scared of your boss?
I'm not.
Is it like a hostile work environment?
No, I'm not scared. It's just kind of a big deal. He runs the entire order. I've never even met him. I'm not scared. I'm nervous.
Okay, well, maybe you shouldn't be so nervous. What if he's like really nice and you don't know?
I would like to believe that, but he's a politician. Anyway, we're headed to the highlight house.
First impressions are important. You're right. Let's be
that is true.
Behavior, Mariel.
Just kind of tap my chin, thinking this over.
Just get through to her somehow.
I'm trying to fade in the background right now, just not be noticed at all.
All right. Dame Cothram ceases to notice you. Mariel, you do not know where Kai went. And with that roll, Kai, since you're trying to be unnoticeable, we're going to say Dan Cothram has not noticed that you vanished either.
Sounds good.
So do you continue following though, or do you split off?
I continue following. I just don't want to be like, I don't want to draw any attention at all.
Right. This feels very like, at least to your eyes, a bit, for lack of a better word, gentrified. It's not really the element that you are used to. This is very, it goes beyond ritzy into something slightly more intimidating. Okay, hang on. I got a plasmoid sample for Ordeith.
I'm suspicious of why Pick wanted to come here. I'm following him. Just try to
As
stick next
you
to him.
approach Tueris Teleus, the giant citadel with the high lighthouse, you pass this immense, like these terraced towers, like a layer cake unto itself, with hanging gardens stretched over them of all these different plant species. And the whole of this building on your left that rises enormous is covered in tiny mosaic tiles shaped like dragon scales. But they shimmer with this iridescence and magically change color like pixels on a screen, and they illuminate not just the leaves, but yeah, they illuminate the hanging leaves to use them like a screen to display different flowing images and scenes and dioramas. It looks like, at one moment, it looks like a long green forest, a long lost green forest from before the Titan War is just rising in the middle of Lake Vitruvian. And then it looks like a mountain of cascading waterfalls. And then it looks like a living dragon perched, coiled, wreathed in smoke. Game Cothram kind of just acknowledges it. That is the Neodrome, the Mosaic Temple of Teagatha.
Oh, how's that work?
It is the primary place of worship for the Teagathan Fae. I've only been a few times.
Have I figured out how I rolled Arcana? What can I figure out about this the spells on the tiles here?
It's hard to say from here. It's definitely not simple, and it definitely looks extremely complicated and sophisticated. Like, this must have taken a stupid amount of work. They say it's one of the wonders of the world. Perhaps you'll have time to visit later, but we really should be getting on.
All right.
And so you reach.
Before we get much further,
plants.
Going back to yes, that, but the golden light and the silence, and how familiar would Temmerlinck be with the similar power in Astrolabe?
Go ahead and roll me history with advantage.
Okay, advantage history.
Yeah, that's a good enough roll. You know that back in Astrolabe, your home city, the Stellar Counselors are in possession of a primal ember from the primal seal that like controlled the shape and nature of the world that the two Titans fought over, and they split it between them and created that, the fathomless chasms, and there was the big disastrous explosive end to the Titan War and the primal seal was shattered, and its different sort of shards or embers were scattered, and the Stellar Counselors that rule Astrolabe, the city you're from, have one of them, only one. And the Inchworm Knights, you've heard, because it's kind of a point of some bitterness, they have two, and the Queen of the Crucible has three. And you do like this does match a lot of what you've heard of descriptions of this kind of power, although you've never seen it projected like this over a huge area.
Right. Yes. That is what that's what I wanted to know. Yes. Okay. I'm very curious about the plants, and I'm going to, I guess, start to go over to take a look.
Okay. Oh, Ordeith, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I just wanted to make sure I was keeping track of things. You take a closer look at the Neodrome at Temmerlinck. It is enormous, and there are many steps up. Like, this makes the temple to the Wounded Moon look small and like quaint. This is like, again, this is wonder of the world level, ginormous temple complex. And there are hanging gardens all over it, stretching down even to street level. And there's some like little water channels that the plants kind of dip into. And Dame Cothram is scurrying after you. Excuse me, I understand if you're interested in the temple. We could stop for a moment if you want to poke your head in, but we really don't want to keep the night architect waiting too long.
So sort of like it looks sort of like on the outside, almost like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon kind of thing.
A bit, with like really big towers that are terraced, like LA Arcade.
I would have followed along with Timberlake. I think that would be interesting too.
Yeah, Dame Cothram is like trying to be like, okay, you can poke your head in for a moment, but really, please just don't touch anything. Please don't touch anything. Temmerlinck, what do you do? Or Ordeith?
I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna make an insight check, I guess, just to get a read on like level of panic that she is under.
Absolutely, go ahead and roll.
About
It's a pretty substantial level of panic. She is panicking because there's one group of Pick and Kai and Mariel over in the street, and then she's got these two druids making a beeline for this like world wonder hanging gardens, and she's seriously panicking about the possibility that you might touch something and she might get in serious trouble.
we'll pause then and I see. I fear I have transgressed. We should stay together with the others.
Yes,
Ordeith.
please. If you wanted to quickly look inside the temple, that's fine. But please just keep your hands to yourselves and keep together. Thank you. Do any of you poke your head in, or do you just head on, continue toward Tuera Solis, the high lighthouse of the Night Architect?
I'm gonna poke my head in, but very quickly.
You poke your head in, Temmerlinck. You see a vaulting ceiling some 70 feet high with tiered balconies above, with sort of encircling all these different golden chandeliers, each of which is bigger than a carriage. There are terraced seats shaped like enormous wings in a semicircle around a towering dais 25 feet high, with a golden nest-like circular hollow set on its side against the wall. So it's like a big circle on the wall. And there's an image of Teagartha in the middle of it, worked only in precious gems. There is a prominent pulpit with a golden book. There is a central golden brazier, but no altar. The walls are all worked in the same magical mosaic as the exterior. So when you poke your head in, you feel like you've stepped through a portal into like a big like outdoor seating arrangement in the middle of an endless, like hot, humid, like almost jungle wood from a primeval era, from
Like a holodeck or something.
like before the Titan War, when there were forests. And Temmerlinck, this is the first time you have ever stood in what a forest would have looked like. There are statues over 15 feet high, magically colored to look like trees are coming to life because they're covered in those mosaics. There's a giant central statue of Teagartha 25 feet high. It's worked in red moon-blooded gold. It's right looming over the entrance in kind of the middle here. The head of her head rises level with the dais. And it's overgrown with vines of rare blossoming flowers and plants. Her tail divides into the rainbow jeweled worms across the illusory forest floor. Which is the symbol of the inkworms, is her tail doing that. And her body of this intricate statue, this huge intricate statue, is comprised of thousands of little images of various species, all worked together. And throughout this illusory wood. There are numerous candles and braziers and marble divider railings lit with flowing flame that subdivide the space. And all
So
of the
on the
flames seem to breathe, flickering in a flowing wave that begins at the dais and ripples visibly across all of the candles and the braziers and every fire in the room like a heartbeat.
This place
So
is wonderful.
on the way in,
I would enjoy returning here if that were possible.
Yes, I'm sure that won't be any problem after your meeting with the Night Architect. We have a little time. I suppose you could meet the High Priest if you're interested, but then we really should be moving on.
What you're saying, Ordeith?
Some of the time, perhaps.
Yeah. What were you saying, Ordeith? Sorry.
excuse me, sir. I
No
would
worries.
just say, like, while we're walking towards the temple, once we get inside, I just want to keep a really keen eye out and see if anything is, like, growing abnormally, or if everything just seems to be growing really naturally, if there's any kind of, like, wonkiness or any corruption, anything like that anywhere.
For sure, go ahead and roll me a Nature or Arcana check. But I think that'd be Nature. 15. The plants in here seem immaculately cared for. They are a very rare collection. You notice especially that the statue of Teagartha, the 20-foot one made of all those little golden images, is covered in dragon asters and yarrow worm, which are very, very rare flowers that only grew after dragon fire burned a section of land.
That's really
And
cool.
they've been kept preserved in possibly the only ones in the world on this statue in this space. You can tell this space is so sacred. Like every inch people are taking exquisite care of.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was muted. Sorry. While we're waiting for the three of them to come back, I'm just gonna cross my arms and look over at Peck and go like, okay, so what were you planning on stealing here?
What's your response, Peck?
You caught me mid chew. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Actually, I'm still chewing. Sorry.
Peck is eating an apple right now.
I'm gonna. Well, first of all, maybe like give the dead stare. Did you just ask me to steal something?
No, you're way more excited to mingle with the rich people than you usually are. So, what were you planning exactly? I'm just kind of arms akimbo, just looking. Actually, who's taller? I don't know. I don't know if I can
You're
actually look
taller
down.
than him, I
I'm
believe.
taller than him. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
4'10". So he's like 2 feet or
Yeah,
something,
Peck
right?
is tiny.
I'm very, very small.
Yeah, I'm 4'10", so I'm looking down, and then you're the only one that makes me feel tall. I'm just kind of looking down at you with my arms akimbo, like.
I stare very intently at my full height, which is still diminutive, and very, very hurt looking. Go. Don't steal from anyone. I just redistribute wealth when it's necessary.
Pick, go ahead and just whisper the roll to me, persuasion or deception.
Alrighty.
Insight, Mariel.
Mariel, Pick is completely innocent. Hi, Pick is gonna steal so much stuff.
Natural 20. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that about you. I'm sorry.
What was that guy?
Guy just looks and says, "Please don't draw attention here. This is the last place you want to draw negative attention in."
Draw it. I'm not going to draw it. I'm going to write it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kneel down to his level. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't doubt you like this. Sometimes, I know you're always really trying to do your best, and I can just be, I want to be a good guardian angel, but I gotta trust you, learn to trust you too.
Okay, at this moment, the druids come out of the temple looking a bit visibly odd, I imagine. Oh, I don't know how expressive Temmerlinck's little emoticon eye goes, but you all resume heading down the length of the length of Vitruvian. until you reach the foot of Tuera Soleus, the high lighthouse of the Night Architect. It is the tallest lighthouse fortress in all of Adelaide Skifta. I love your open mouth emoji. It is this ornate citadel sprawling out in 5 enormously high, lengthy bastions that stand upon great arches like aqueducts.
You said it's a lighthouse?
Yes,
Is there water nearby?
many of the towers in Adelaide Skifta bear enormous lights. If you want, you can roll history and try to know why.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll history, and if not, then I'm just gonna straight up ask.
15. Adelaide Skifta endeavors to be, as it were, a light in the darkness, and in part because of their opposition to the Mire, the Inkwurm Knights, they sort of light the way. From a distance, it looks like a little tiny constellation on part of Tagarth's tail. But they kind of light the way as like a symbol and a beacon. It's both like symbolic and practical. At night, it's very useful, but obviously, it's also just kind of a symbol of their defying the darkness and the chaos of the post-apocalyptic world and so forth. So there's golden light. That same golden light seems to hang about the citadel very heavily. There's no moon blood seems to have ever touched it, but there is no sign whatsoever of a visible magical shield. It is many tiered and tapering. It's asymmetric in this very artful way, and it terminates at the very top in that great golden beacon from which all the light comes. There are countless members of the order, countless knights heavily guarding the gates. Their armor seems to be purely gold with only the faintest of red trim. A portcullis rises up from the street. The gates are 40 feet high. And then somebody opens a small wicket gate at the bottom. And you see a small white dragonborn woman wearing golden robes, faintly inlaid with intricate figures from her lineage, kind of steps out, and Dame Cothram immediately drops into like a genuflect kneel.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll just follow suit.
You also do this. Hello, I'm Andromeda Scurious. My speech impediment. I'm Andromeda Scurus. I can't pronounce my own name. Grand Surveyor and Seneschal of Adelaide Skifta. I am steward of the citadel of Tuera Soleus and keys warden of Length Vitruvian.
Wow, so you like a party planner?
No.
The Seneschal.
I am second only to the Night Architect. We work together in our rulership of the city, and in certain matters he is second to me, you might say. Please come in, you are expected.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up only when
Dame Cothram does.
Yeah.
So Andromeda leads you into like up countless stairs, this gorgeous kind of like empty cathedral feeling citadel. It's countless halls of staggering intricacy. There's floors of clear crystal with designs built tens of feet beneath to mirror golden stalactite dragon tails that are sort of built into the ceiling. Everything is very old. Every footstep is like so echoey, but the building is so hushed. Now listen, Andromeda turns to you all. You have to understand the Night Architect is incredibly important. He is incredibly powerful. I would ask that you all remain respectful and defer to his position.
Does he have an irate personality?
No, he's a wonderful man, but these meetings are. What was that? Yes.
What does he typically refer to as? Your honor, my lord.
Oh, salutation.
What an excellent question. She kind of smiles with almost like relief. Night Architect is his official term. Ariel Fair is also acceptable. That is his surname. Some call him Your Grace, but any of those should work.
Very well, thank you.
What about you? Is it like honorable stewardship?
Oh no, I don't have a title, but that's very sweet of you. I have many titles, but I don't have a formal form of address. Part of my duties is to interface with those who themselves do not have a form of address, so I don't have one either. If you'll simply follow me, Dame Cothram, you may remain outside.
What? She doesn't get food?
Her presence has not been requested.
Well, if we were shifting the between, maybe she would. Don't you think she deserves like a little something? Like,
Roll persuasion. Dame Cothram is serving her duty, and she is commended for it, but she has many things to do, and I'm sure she's worked a long day. In any way, her presence.
exactly. So she might be hungry.
I'm sorry, dear, but it is not up to me whom the Night Architect invites. This is what I am endeavoring to impress upon you. Such a meeting is significant and a rare privilege.
Okay, well, I'm at least go give her money so that she can buy like a sandwich or something here.
Dear, I don't need your money. That's extremely sweet of you, dear. But I'm quite fine. I make plenty as an Inquem knight. Thank you, though.
All right. I'll go back and go.
Andromeda, the seneschal, opens the door.
For most of us, this is our second rich person party in like a day.
You may wish to kneel. This is the chamber of the blade.
Okay, I kneel down right now.
As you step in, and Mariel kneels at least. I don't know if do any of you others kneel.
Yeah, I will.
I
I will do it quite visibly, in fact, just to make sure my presence is known.
What were you saying, Temmerlinck?
I will kind of look around, see if everybody else is kneeling. If everybody else kneels, I will kneel.
Okay. Ordeith, you said you were kneeling?
Yeah.
Kai.
I'm gonna try and remain kind of out of sight. If I'm noticed, I will kneel, but if I'm not kneeling.
Okay, so you linger a moment not kneeling, and Temmerlinck kind of lingers waiting as you all find yourselves in a singular, comparatively small circular room. It's only about 30 feet in diameter, and there are windows looking out in all directions like a big circle of glass.
It's just like it's not like a rotunda though, right? Because this is part of a bigger building.
Yeah, this is part of a bigger building. It's towards the very top of the tower, though. You climbed like so many friggin' spiral staircases up here. There is a gold.
I'm actually not gonna kneel. I'm gonna stand there, lean on my staff really heavily, but I'll like incline my head really deep.
Gotcha. Okay. Kind of striking a middle ground. I like it. There is an intense golden glare from above. There's this palpable sense of pulsing strength. But the floor is just kind of old tapestried carpet. The marble walls are faintly carved, but set with a lot of bookshelves between the windows. And there's a 10-foot wide circular table with an image of Tagartha painted over it, set up in the middle of the room. And there is only one chair. And in this singular, comparatively humble chair, it does not look like a throne, is Knight Architect Greenrock Erothair, Knight Architect of Adelaide Skifta. He is busy, sort of bent, signing documents in ornate calligraphy. He is an unassuming, unusually short satyr. He's only about like 4'6". He's got graying brown hair. His beard is short and tapering. It's like a goat beard woven into just a few golden rings. He has a small pair of fairly unremarkable spectacles on his nose. One of his horns is broken. The other horn has a silver ring around it with draconic writing. He wears comparatively simpler, lighter armor with some simple trim and just a little bit of painted imagery. Mr. Tumnus. He's the arm on the same side that his horn is broken, which is his right arm, has been replaced with a golden prosthetic with these floating pieces suspended by smoldering yellow light, and with like a gauntlet at the end that he can flex and that he's using to sign these documents. And that is what you see. Now, before we go any further, how are we feeling for the session? Do you guys all have a little more time, or do we need to call it? Because this is when we usually would call it.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I gotta be up at like 3:45 for work.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
we can't. I know there's some of us really have to cut off at now. So
Okay,
we
you're
will
right,
stop
you're
at this cliffhanger, face to face with the powerful and mysterious Knight Architect.
What's pick planning? What's pick plan to pick? When will he tell us to rise?
Is there anyone else in the room, by the way?
Yeah.
You don't see anyone else other than you and Andromeda, but we will have to come back to that.
Thanks for. I'm so glad everyone could come today.
Me too.
It's been a while
Yes.
since Bookworm got to join us.
Yeah, sorry I've been gone for a while, guys.
Yeah, no worries. I enjoy getting to build you a little side episode, which is what I like to do when I don't get to play for a little while. So I'm glad I finally got to use that because I wrote that a little while ago. Just a little self-indulgent lore episode.
Get more to that arc if I had decided to actually like follow along with the guy's mission.
What's that?
I said I have a feeling you had more prepared for that arc if I had decided to like follow along.
It's
and
a
do
hook.
what he wanted me to do.
It's a hook. What hooks you guys pick up on is what tends to get the most development. But I intentionally seed a lot of hooks to see what happens. But anyway, thank you all for playing. I hope you all had fun.
I had a lot of
Awesome.
fun.
I'm going to stop recording now.
I had a lot of